Welcome back, dear students. In the previous lesson, we have discussed about setting up Remix ID for vanilla Solidity development, and right inside this, I want to take you through how you can develop with tools you need to set up for your normal Solang Solidity development. So in this lesson, you'll be introduced to all the tools you need to set up a development environment for Solang Solidity on Solana. Solana has IDE in the browser, but at the time I did this course, is not yet compatible with Solang Solidity. Maybe in future it will be. So we need to set up everything locally on our system, and that even give us more in-depth opportunity to work with a lot of things, tools like Anchor, which are awesome to develop on Solana. Now let's check what we've got here. You have under the resources, go to guide for setting up. So I already have a full guide on that, which is still under here, but you always see that I have a note there because some of those references are full content on their own that got a lot of sections. So just concentrate on the specific one that I linked to under the resources. You can decide to just read through, but for that particular lesson, that's the aspect we need. So you don't mix things up, especially for beginners. But if I pro already, then no problem, you can just go through all. Now you're talking about setting up Solang Solidity and Solana development environment. So if you're a Windows developer, you will need to install Windows subsystem for Linux so that it will be much easier for you to run a lot of issues you will likely face if you are trying to do this directly with your window command. So then you're on Linux, right, as I am, or on Mac, then I think we are good to go. So there are different steps, different things to do. You can watch the full video that detail it for you while I quickly run you through some of those guides, because there are a lot of things to be set up. There are a lot of things to be installed. So it's step by step. I think the first one you will need to install is the Rust, which the link to their official instruction and how to do that is there. The reason why I don't just put the code directly is a lot of these things change from time to time. So having direct to the official instruction help you to make sure you are using the current one by the time you are watching the course. So I've already done that on this system. But from time to time we might be just checking out some of them based on the something here. So if you go through the installation, so just copy and paste this. Like I said, I've already set this up, so should be able to. And once you are done, you type this. So and I will also say that don't be surprised that, oh, but this Solang Solidity, why Rust? You need it because that's the actual building block of Solana itself. That's why by default, initially, you can only deploy smart contract, what is known as program on Solana, on the Solana blockchain with Rust before they start expanding to C, C++, Python, and then Solang Solidity, maybe other one in future. So that's why you need to have all these things set up. But it's not that we are developing Rust. No. So for me to just confirm, click. So you have this already installed. This is installed already. I think that one is settled. The next one, so you have to install this thing step by step, please. If not, you will have issue and may need to uninstall them and then restore them. So the only one I think you might have before is this Node.js. If you have been a developer, there's likelihood you already have this. So that you can just skip it, but at least you can confirm. Usually I install my Node.js and manage it with Node version manager so that I can switch, because at times I'm working on a project now that can only work with maybe Node 16 and another one can work with 18. So I don't need to install. I just need to install as many versions as possible, and anytime I need them, I use the NVM to make use of them. So that makes it super easier for me to use. So if I type NVM version, you can see it now. So, and then I can do Node version as well, or just Node V. So you can see it, the Node version is here. But if I do NVM, I think, is it list or ls? Let's see. So you can see it now. So that I have version 18 and I have version 20. I think I used this for a project recently. I'm using it also with this Solana. But I always recommend you install this latest LTS version, whatever version it is. By the time you're watching, might be 19 or 20. The LTS is more stable, except the project itself specifically states you should install anything above the LTS. So, and then I can always switch with NVM, use 18, and then you can see it. If I go back again and do Node version, it will be 18. And then if I list, it will tell me, you can see this arrow green, previously on 20, now here. So that's how that works. And let me take it back. Use 20. So look for the 20 that you have. Sorry. So if I take it back now, you can see it, and it's using that. So that's how you set up for the node. Then the third one, you want to install the actual Solana to suit, so which will serve for us just like the remix in the previous lesson for the vanilla Solidity. We need this for the Solang Solidity. So if you are installing this, you go also to the official documentation, and right there you should follow the instruction if you are Mac, Linux, and all those things. Always remember, we have the support. Anytime I will be there to give you the team, or if we have a AI set up to support, always know you have the support along the way. So you can have all this, and once you set this up as well, you can confirm it if it's done or not. So you can see it now. If you can't see this, then it means it's not successful. You need to fix things. Next one is, we have different, this talks about different type of, if you are coming from Ethereum or you are new, there are about 3 development clusters. It's called clusters. That's like nodes together, like multiple nodes together. We have mainnet, devnet, and testnet. I've already broken everything down here. We have the mainnet, which is the actual real Solana blockchain. You use anything on mainnet, deal with real money. That means you need to purchase the actual crypto token coin of the platform you are dealing with. On the mainnet for any blockchain you are dealing with, that's actually, for example, on Ethereum, you need to purchase ETH to be able to do transaction, which will cost you money. And then on Solana, you need to purchase SOL in order to do transaction. So this is not advisable for you as developer to test things. When you are developing actually on Ethereum, you use testnets, which the ETH you also need. Those ones are usually available on different facets for free. But if you are on mainnet, you have to pay. So the same testnet of Ethereum is equivalent to DevNet on Solana. Then there's also a testnet closer to mainnet, but usually used for development of some core things, test some core things out. But usually as just developer doing that or something, you just need to work with DevNet. And once you are good to go, you can deploy to mainnet. So that's what that aspect is. It's just good for you to be aware, because it will matter moving forward on those ones who will choose from. So, and from this that we installed this Solana, it has installed Solang CLI for us. The Solana 2 suite come with a lot of things, especially Solana CLI, and then plus, I think from version 1.18 or something, I've forgotten that this Solang was now bundled in by default, which is cool, makes it super easier. Let's check. The next will be, we need to create a wallet, because like I told you, that's why now if you want to have a token, you have to have an account and a wallet to hold that token. So you need to have a wallet. To do that, you use this code, just copy them in your terminal, just paste, enter, refusing to override. So we already have this already, so that's why I'm saying, but if you don't have it already, I won't force it. If you don't have it already for your first time, you run that, it will create it for you. Now the next one will be to get an airdrop. So like I told you, you need to pay for transaction. So for you to pay for transaction and other things, like if you go through the previous one and the resources I recommend, you have read and discover more about how Solana account operates, that you need to pay for rent, you need to pay for transaction, and also the account that we hold. The account is divided into two, which are this. So these data accounts, depending on the data it's holding, you have to pay for the rent, you understand, things like that. So the transaction fee to create this and all those things, so you need, and for you to have that, we need airdrop, since this is DevNet that we're working on. So for you to do that, you just copy. Usually the maximum you can request is 4, but you can request 1, 2, 3, and usually maybe within 2, 3 or 4 hours after, or 6 hours, you can request another, because if you are actually deploying, you will need more, I'm telling you. So you had better, before you start deploying, start getting more. At least by the time you want to get to the level of you want to start deploying, maybe you should have at least about 5, 10 so in your account, because usually most time, based on my experience, you will spend about 2, 3 per each time you deploy, because you need to pay that data account need to hold some and things like that. So that's one of the reasons. So we have the airdrop. If I go in here, if it's not working, reduce it to 3 or 2. You can say it, so it's done, and That's it. You can always check in your balance, which is already here. But if I do Solana balance, so you can see that it's the same. Good. So the next, we're configuring Solang for Solidity. So it's straightforward and you don't need to lift your fingers anymore. Yeah, because Solang has been installed for us alongside the Solana CL, and since we'll be using Anchor and all those things, makes it more super easier. So all we need to do is to confirm if this was installed. Remember when we installed this two suits, yeah, it's installed both of them. So for you to confirm, we just need to run that. So you need to install them. These are just what you do to confirm. You see Solang version 0.3.2. I don't know the version you'll be when to, but that's how you just check the version. Might be higher by the time you'll be watching this course. Let's see. So installing and configuring Anchor framework. So Anchor framework is a tool that makes it super easier for you to develop on Solana. So it work with Rust, I think it work with maybe Python or so or something, but I know it work with Rust, and because I've tried some things myself with the Rust, then it work with Solang Solidity to make it easier, because there are lots of things to be done when you are deploying on Solana. The same for Ethereum, a lot of things has been done by that ID remix. So the same with this Anchor, help you put a lot of things into order and then make it super easier for you. You just use some command and a lot of code you would have written yourself will be auto-run behind the scene for you. So for us to install that as well, you need to follow the instruction. I usually just install with AVM. Can install that, and once you are done, you can as well check the version. You see that it also recommend that you install Rust, Solana, and this says Yarn, so you can as well install Yarn if you don't have it at all before. So let's check this. You can see it that is already installed. Whatever your version, you should show it here. If all these things are not showing, it means something is not right. So you need to work to install Anchor for Windows and all these things. Then once you have all those, cool, congrats to you. You have your setup ready in your local environment and you are ready to start developing with Solang Solidity on Solana. So to make things easier, we need to get IDE, which will now serve in the surface like this for the vanilla. You can also use VS Code to work with the vanilla Solidity. So, but for now, let's just use this for the Solang Solidity. Then installing, you install VS Code. You can follow the official instruction. Then after installing, install and configure Solang VS Code. So try to configure Solang VS Code. Once you install, you have it like this. Go under extension. You have the Explorer source and then the extension. Go and install this Solang Solidity. Just search for it and then install it, because it will help you in order to do corrections, syntax, and a lot of things as we move forward. So this is also important. Also inside the settings, make sure if you tap here, coming, yeah, okay. extension settings. So make sure this target is on Solana, because it also works with Substrate. I think that's for Polkadot and other ones, the NVM. So make sure your target is Solana, so that you can get more specific helpful correction hints and things like that with your Solang Solidity for Solana code. So I think those are the major things you need here. Why you can also install, I think, tom.ml file for Anchor. So that's just those things you need. Once you have all those things ready, then that's it. According to in the instruction, you should stick to that section recommended here. So you come back to the course and continue. So if we need other section later in the course, we will reference that specific, so that you don't get overburdened trying to go through all the resources A to Z and things like that. So that's how you set it up. By now you should be able to run all these things and have them showing you your node version, your Rust version, your Solana CLI version, Solang version, and Anchor version. Then you have your VS Code as the extension installed, and that's it. We are good to go. I think maybe the next lesson, let's see if we're just taking a thought through Anchor or something like that. So that's it. See you in the next lesson. I remain Solomon Foske. Keep the programming spirit alive. Your only assurance to succeed in programming. That's it. Bye.